Tonight on Global TV News Prime, federal government extends date for recruitment applications to military agencies. Business Nigeria Benin agree on joint trade framework. On the foreign scene, Trump reaffirms Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara. And tonight in sports, Nigerian Basketball Federation reveals tip-off date for Men's Basketball League. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uji Agmofwegwe. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channels 365 and Star Times 276. Tonight, let's begin by telling you the federal government has extended by 1 week the recruitment applications to paramilitary agencies. The board of the services gave the notification for the extension in a statement signed by its secretary, retired Major General Abdulmalik Jibril in Abuja. Jibril said the agencies are the Nigeria Immigration Service, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Correctional Service, and the Federal Fire Service. The federal government has reiterated President Bola Tinubu administration's commitment to boosting food security through strategic partnerships with development agencies aimed at encouraging increased investment in feed production across the country. A statement by the Director, Information and Publicity, Fumi Imwetiya, says Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, said this when the newly appointed country representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization to Nigeria, Gudein Hussein, and his delegation paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja, noting that Utsev during the visit emphasized Tinubu's strong commitment to enhancing feed production in the country. The Nigeria Forest Security Service has urged the federal government to recognize forest security as a crucial component of the nation's overall security framework. The Deputy Commander General in charge of intelligence in the Security Service, John Meche, made the call during a zonal training session for personnel in Jos, Plateau State capital. Meche said the forest had remained one of the most vulnerable and ungoverned spaces in Nigeria, yet received little attention in national security planning. As Nigeria inches closer to the 2027 general elections, power rotation debates are beginning to stir political waters. From the north to the south, different regional blocs are positioning themselves for the next turn at the presidency, with growing arguments intensifying around equity, fairness, and the zoning formula. Our correspondent Kabir Hassan has more.
Power rotation has once again stirred up debate in the political landscape of Nigeria as the 2027 election draws near. The conversation now is, should President Bola Tinubu seek a second term, or is it time for a change in leadership? While others argue that the Southeast deserve a shot at the presidency. Others insist Tinubu must complete his 8 years, just like his predecessor. But has President Tinubu fulfilled his promises to Nigerians? If yes, why did the Northerners are calling for a shift in power and the Southerners standing its ground? Today we are out on the street of Abuja to hear what Nigerians can say about President Bola Tinubu's regime.
Has
President Bola Tinubu fulfill his promises to Nigerians?
For me, no.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has actually failed Nigerians.
Tinubu has not yet completed his promise to Nigeria.
Oh yeah, complete what? We never see anything. No.
I don't think he's completed any promise.
No, enough of it.
Many Nigerians are openly comparing Tinubu's administration to that of former late President Muhammadu Buhari, with some expressing disappointment and others asking for patience, while stating reasons why they will not vote for Tinubu ahead of 2027 election.
I don't subscribe to Tinubu being elected for the second time because his policies have not make any impact to Nigerians.
The first time I elected him due to the promise that he gave to us, but now we are not see the promise. If I not see the promise again, the second time we are not going to vote for him.
I can't vote Tinubu for 2027, and I can assure you that he can't win the election 2027.
Across the board, citizens are also highlighting the sectors they believe the next president should focus on.
The number one thing is insecurity. That person that will have the capacity to tackle the issue of insecurity in Nigeria is welcome.
So what I really want from the next person or the next president, capability, good heart, and understand the plight of the people. We're suffering. The fuel should come down. Food should be available. It's not available for free, but at least we can afford it. Then infrastructure, road, education as well.
Thing for market, cheap, transport, fuel. So now what you need for 2027 be that.
As Nigerians inches closer to 2027 general election, the question of power rotation continues to divide opinion, from calls for equity by the Southeast to demand for continuity from the Southwest and agitation for a shift from the North. One thing is clear, the road to 2027 will shape not just by politics, but by the voices of Nigerians themselves. I am Hassan Kabir, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Kabir. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has rejected the newly unveiled National Industrial Relations Policy approved by the Federal Executive Council, warning that it aims to criminalize strikes and silence unions. In a strongly worded statement, the Council's President, Joe Ajaero, said the policy infringes on constitutionally guaranteed labor rights and targets industrial actions unfairly. Ajaero noted that previous attempts to include anti-strike clauses in the draft were opposed by labor and industry stakeholders, calling the final version reprehensible and anti-worker. The House of Representatives Committee on Anti-Corruption, led by Kayode Akeolu, has launched a probe into the effectiveness of anti-corruption and transparency units embedded in over 400 ministries, departments and agencies, amid allegations that some have lost relevance or been compromised. At a public hearing in Abuja, Akeolu questioned whether anti-corruption and transparency units, originally introduced in 2001 by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, to decentralize anti-graft oversight, still serve their intended purpose in curbing internal corruption. Civil society organizations, whistleblowers, and public officials are expected to testify as the House evaluates potential reforms or restructuring of the anti-corruption and transparency units model. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has called for stronger collaboration among all stakeholders to combat electoral fraud in future elections across the country. Resident Electoral Commissioner in Osun State, Mutiu Adegoke, made the call while speaking with journalists after appearing on a political program in Oyo State. Adegoke questioned the roles played by other stakeholders, particularly the media, security agencies, civil society organizations, the political class, as well as religious leaders during elections, while urging key players to wake up to their responsibilities and do what is necessary for the advancement of the country's democracy. Imo State's government says it is stepping up its response to the growing threat of climate change by adopting a more inclusive and community-led approach. Commissioner for Environment and Sanitation. Ejike Emenike says the government is working in collaboration with security actors and society to prioritize grassroots involvement in shaping and implementing climate solutions. Amarachi Ibe reports from Owerri.
In Imo State, climate change is no longer an abstract topic. From erosion eating into farmlands to seasonal flooding displacing families, the crisis is hitting closer to homes and the response is becoming more localized. To address these growing concerns, the Imo State Commissioner for Environment and Sanitation, Ejike Emenike, says the state government, in partnership with the civil society groups, is implementing a community-driven climate strategy. He says the initiative is aimed at ensuring no one is left out of the fight against environmental degradation.
Imo State government, under the dynamic leadership of His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma, CON, has already begun laying a strong foundation by prioritizing environmental sustainability, strengthening institutions, mainstreaming climate consideration across states.
The Commissioner further urged government agencies to integrate climate priorities into their development plans, budgets, and daily operations.
It is a call to action, a call to reimagine governance in the face of climate change and to embrace a future where every voice is heard, every community is empowered, and every challenge becomes an opportunity for transformation and growth.
Executive Director Space for Change, Victoria Ibezimo-Henry, says early stage projects are being rolled out in communities ranging from reforestation and erosion control.
Their mandate is basically to develop a localized climate change policy, and what that policy would do is to provide a strategic direction that will, for reducing the state's carbon footprint, incentivize renewable energy development and prioritize nature-based solutions such as reforestation and ecosystem restoration.
With unpredicted weather patterns and worsening environmental risk, stakeholders in Imo State believe that community involvement is key to building long-term resilience. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Imo State's correspondent Amarachi Ibe, we are appreciating your reporting for us tonight. July 30 each year is a day set aside by the United Nations as the International Day of Friendship, specifically to commemorate the value of friendliness. People around the world use the day as an opportunity to come together with their friends, share love as well as their experiences on what friendship is about. In this special report, our correspondent Zarao Nasir speaks to Nigerians in the nation's capital, Abuja, to highlight the essence of friendship.
To mark the International Day of Friendship, the United Nations encourages governments, international organizations, and civil society groups to hold events, activities, and initiatives that contribute to the efforts of the international community towards promoting a dialogue among civilizations, solidarity, mutual understanding, and reconciliation. The International Day of Friendship was proclaimed in 2011 by the United Nations General Assembly with the idea that friendship between peoples, countries, cultures, and individuals can inspire peace efforts and build bridges between communities. Some of the people interviewed shared their experiences on how important it is to them.
Without friendship, I don't know where I could have been by now. Friendship has been of a very great importance to my life as a person. My advice to people regarding friendship is to be honest, to be truthful, to be straightforward.
Friends are very, very important in the sense that friend indeed are friend in need. So for me, I consider friends to be people that are useful to your life, you know, by sacrificing in one way or the other.
Friends is the kind of God-sent experience to mankind, be it good or bad. If you have a good friend, you will learn one or two from him. If you only have a bad friend, you also learn one or two things from him. It might come as an advantage or equal as a disadvantage.
However, some also have not so pleasant experiences on how they have suffered betrayal by persons they had considered friends.
Most of us will see friendship is a scam, because today you trust someone, you trust somebody with one secret or the other, and tomorrow the person is backstabbing you. So most of us have had bitter experiences from friendship. The advantage, for me, I think the disadvantage to me outweighs the advantage.
I won't call that a betrayal. I will just call that should be a lesson to me. I will learn from that. I won't just call that a betrayal. It's just a lesson, because anytime a friend you called it a betrayal actually, but anytime a friend did something like that to you, I will just take it like, oh, this is something I'm supposed to learn. Maybe I didn't learn it from onset, so I will just look for a way and adjust it.
Friendship is viewed by many people from different perspectives. This year's commemoration is yet another reminder that rewarding friendships can be cultivated and nurtured to benefit all parties involved. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Zirao. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime here on Global Television. When the rest of the news returns, Nigeria, Benin Republic agree on joint trade framework. Details coming shortly, plus foreign export stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. In a major step towards strengthening regional trade ties and economic integration, Nigerian government and the Republic of Benin have agreed on a joint trade framework to eliminate associated bottlenecks. The agreement was reached at a meeting held in Cotonou, Benin Republic. The framework also to facilitate the economic development and create new opportunities across both countries. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC Plus, is set to raise oil production by 548,000 barrels per day in September, continuing a month-long reversal of earlier cuts amid geopolitical pressure and changing market dynamics. The move, which finalizes the unwinding of a prior 2.2 million barrels per day cuts, comes as the group faces tensions around Russian supply and shifting global demand. Now let's go proper into the foreign scene tonight. The United Nations says Haiti's human rights crisis is worsening, with at least 1,520 people killed and 609 injured in gang violence between April and June this year. Over 4,800 have died since October 2024, with thousands more injured, raped or kidnapped, as well as 1.3 million displaced. The United Nations is urging urgent global support amid a power vacuum and no general elections since President Jovenel Moise's 2021 assassination. The Palestine Red Crescent Society has accused Israeli forces of striking its Khan Yunis headquarters, killing a staffer and injuring 3 others as fire engulfed the building. The agency says the facility was clearly marked and its location well known to Israeli forces, while the Israeli Defense Forces denied knowledge of any strike. The attack adds to rising concerns over Gaza's humanitarian crisis, with over 1,300 Palestinians reportedly killed while seeking food. President Donald Trump has reiterated United States support for Morocco's autonomy plan in Western Sahara, framing it as the only viable solution to the long-standing territorial dispute with the Polisario Front. Trump's statement aligns with the recognition granted during his first term under the Abraham Accords, which saw Morocco normalize ties with Israel. Algeria, backing the Sahrawi Republic, continues to reject compromise and has boycotted United Nations mediated talks seeking resolution. And in sports, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Nigeria's D Tigers for reaching their 5th consecutive FIBA Women's Afrobasket final. The team defeated Senegal in a closely contested semi-final held in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The president praised their resilience and dominance, expressing confidence in their continued success. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Basketball Federation has confirmed that the 2025 edition of the Men's Premier Basketball League will tip off on August 9 in both the Savannah and Atlantic conferences. The governing body for the sport in the country revealed that the 2025 league season will run in 4 phases. The first phase, which will take place, is the group stage, followed by the entire group stage. Upon completion of the second phase, the playoffs will take full swing before the season concludes with the final 4. Tonight, we end News Prime with a recap of some of our top stories. The federal government has extended by 1 week the recruitment applications to paramilitary agencies. The board of the services gave the notification for extension in a statement signed by its secretary, retired Major General Abdulmalik Jibril in Abuja. In business, in a major step towards strengthening regional trade ties and economic integration, Nigerian government and the Republic of Benin have agreed on a joint trade framework to eliminate associated bottlenecks. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has reiterated United States support for Morocco's autonomy plan in Western Sahara, framing it as the only viable solution to the long-standing territorial disputes with the Polisario Front. And finally, in sports, the Nigeria Basketball Federation has confirmed that the 2025 edition of the Men's Premier Basketball League will tip off on August 9 in both the Savannah and Atlantic conferences. And that's News Prime, but here is a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I am Uyag Mofwegwe. On behalf of my colleagues who have made these news broadcasts possible, we say we are grateful for your time. Have a great week ahead.